Good day, everybody. Warm welcome. I'm Kathy W. So happy that you stopped by, and thank you for being with me today on February 6th. This will be an action-packed, busy day, and you might want to grab a tea or coffee and your yarn if you haven't already. Of course, we will be looking at pictures sent for the Something New Make-Along Textured Items edition. Some people who have done this technique lots of times before, and some people who are trying it for the first time. For anyone who is new to watching, today will be the reveal of the next technique to try. What will be the technique that we'll be working on during February? And during the video, I will ask Jeff to help hold the camera, and we will have a draw to see which of the people who participated in January's Make-Along will win a small gift from me. Also today, my personal challenge to see how much stash yarn that I have used during January and compare my stash down numbers from January 2025. Will January's totals be higher or lower than last year? And much thanks to the viewers from Yarn with Heart. During this video will be a share from them, a roundup from their comments last week, and more about that later. Do you have your cups of tea or coffee and yarn? Let's settle in and get ready. First, let's jump right in about the Something New Make-Along. To join in, you have two choices. I put all of the special techniques in a box and randomly will choose one from there. Let's open it together now and see what the special technique for February will be. Okay, so let's see. Let's see what this one is. So this month it is mesh. There. So this month we can each try making something using mesh, and as usual, if this technique is something that you really do not want to try, you can still participate by choosing a stitch that you have never worked before and make an item using a new to you stitch. At first, I was going to set parameters about what each of these techniques mean, and yet I changed my mind because it will be fun to see the variations in what everyone submits. Some different tutorials and different patterns might have different looks, and also the techniques might look very different when using different weights of yarn. And I think seeing these will all be part of the fun. Last month, because of a viewer's suggestion in an email, we will continue to share in the following Friday's video about a few hints and tips about this technique, and maybe even a few inspiration pictures using the technique. Thank you so much to the viewer for emailing to me for this wonderful suggestion. And fair warning, a few of these techniques are more challenging than others, and if you decide to do a small project because of it being something that you have never done before, that is wonderful too. The main thing is experimenting and seeing what happens. Now, after your item is complete, please send me your picture by Tuesday, March 3rd to my email, and the slideshow will be on Friday, March 6th. Sign your email with whatever name you would like during the slideshow, and also I will put that first name on the wheel of names for the draw. If you would like your channel name mentioned, let me know that too. Along with the picture of your item, please let me know a few details about your project, especially the name of the patterns and the designer or the tutorial that you followed. Also, was this a new technique for you, or have you done a bit of it before? There is a wonderful variety of patterns this month. All are beautiful, and thank you so much for sharing your pictures. And now for the slideshow. Now first we have Lillian T. Lillian found that this took a while to make. Also, she didn't realize that the texture would take up so much yarn and needed to order 2 extra skeins to complete it. She used Red Heart Bitty Stripes. The pattern is by Mixed Candy, and the YouTube tutorial is rug number 67. This one is by Kim O. This month, Kim sent a picture of a basket weave blanket. It is the first time that she made this, and Kim found that she really enjoyed the stitch. There is no pattern, and it is her own design. Next we have Anne made by Wyla. First, a special mention for last month's lace and eyelets. She shared about some Sophie style scarves that she was busy making during December. The picture was a bit late arriving for the January slideshow. This is a special mention, as I know many of us are looking for pretty Sophie scarf patterns. The patterns she used to make these include the Sophie scarf pattern, Tea Time by Creative Grandma, V-stitch with a single crochet border, Queen Anne lace scarf, and the Suzette stitch scarf. Also, for this month, she sent a second picture. This is a project that is new to her. It is a textured scarf. The pattern is called Fan Lace Scarf by Hooked by Robin. The yarn is Karen Cinnamon Swirl in the color Oyster. She thought that this might be a hard pattern, but found that it went swiftly. The next one is by Michelle P. from Lady Crochet. Michelle said that she loves textured looks. For this month, she tried out a new stitch on some textured headbands. She found that they are fun to make and cozy. The crochet tutorial is called Basic Ridge Headband, and it is a design by the Turtle Trunk. The next one is by Bonnie C. This month, Bonnie modified a pattern. It is a stitch sampler using Tunisian stitches. Bonnie turned the sampler into a bag for her cross stitch. The yarn that she used is Bag O' Day Tonal Hues Acrylic and Mary Maxim Starlit Sparkle yarns. This one is by Robin G. She made 2 matching hats for a couple of family members. Robin used some old yarn from Stash in a DK weight. The pattern name is the Aza Baby Hat. It is designed by Mariana Mel. Next we have Judy T. Judy was inspired by the Fisherman's Rib Scarf that she saw on Yarn with Heart, and she decided to try one. The Fisherman's Rib stitch is new to Judy, and she loves how squishy it makes the fabric. This pattern is the Fisherman's Rib Scarf by Jack Knits, a YouTube tutorial. Judy used Lion's Pride wool spun in the colorway Stone Mix. This one is by Rebecca S. Rebecca had so much fun making tissue box covers. She used 2 different patterns. The one from Ophelia Talks is with granny stitches. The other one is designed by Joy to the World Creations. Then Rebecca modified them by adding on flowers and beads. Next we have Alessandra from Pink Opal. Alessandra used worsted weight yarn scraps from last year to make a dog blanket. To me, fun color combinations like this look like a palette of the previous year's colors. It is part of the charm of scrap blankets and why I love them so much. Alessandra said that the stitch she used is called the Triton stitch. It is from Creative Grandma's channel on YouTube. Then we have Melissa K. Melissa crocheted a beanie and scarf using leftover sock yarn. She used the even berry stitch and found that it feels a bit like Legos in a good way. My mistake, I forgot to ask Melissa for pattern information about these projects, and I do not know if there is a designer and pattern for this one. Next we have Mary from Mhon. Mary made a snowman with a textured stitch. The pattern is Wheat Stitch Snowman. It is a design by Brianna K. Designs. The pattern is available on Etsy and Ravelry. She also has a video tutorial on YouTube. The white is Red Heart, the black is Craft Smart Yarn, and the burnt orange is a vintage Windtuck Sport used double. The red was gifted with no ball band. Mary made the snowflake decorating the snowman's hat in 2024, and she does not recall the pattern source. This one is by Deb M. Deb crocheted a car seat blanket. The tutorial is by Ninja Bunny. The yarn she used is I Love This Yarn in the color Fruit Salad. The stitches are the bead stitch and the triple crossover stitch. Next we have Maria K. Like me, Maria loves texture, and she decided to make 2 items with texture this month. The first is a project with 2 yarns held together using the crawler stitch. It's made by Marling Red Heart Super Saver in Blue Wave with a cloud cake in kelp. The second project is a pattern called Orange Spice. It is a design by Annie Design Crochet. There are popcorn stitches in this one. To make it, Maria used a blossom cake. This one is by Cindy S. This month, Cindy made a scarf. It is the Cordelia Infinity Scarf. This is a design by Madam Stitch. The texture is by using half double crochets in the 3rd loop. Next we have Bonnie B. Bonnie sent a picture of a purple hat that has front post, back post, as well as other stitches. This is Bonnie's own design, a one of a kind, and she made it up as she went. Next we have Cindy H. This month Cindy finished her first ever mostly knitted hat. The pattern is based on a bee-hooked knitting pattern from YouTube. Cindy altered the pattern by adding a single crochet brim and by having a knit stitch top to the hat. The video pattern used the textured stitches all the way to the top of the hat, but Cindy liked to try a stockinette knit look in the crown of the hat instead when using this Picasso ice yarn. This one is by Tammy S. The texture that she added is a layer of Karen Latte yarn as a liner inside mittens for extra warmth. The yarn for the outside is Briggs wool. This pattern is called Briggs Mitts. It is a design by Cozy Up Knits. The second red and marl pair has gray latte yarn inside. Next we have Barbara M. Barbara used some super bulky yarn from her stash and found a very pretty knit beanie pattern. The self-striping yarn camouflages the texture a bit, but it has a new to her stitch that creates raised diagonal lines. Barbara made a cowl with the same stitch pattern. It is a free pattern on Ravelry called the Emilia Beanie. This is a design by Abby Leidacker. Then is one by Judy G. from Judy's Creations in Crochet. This month, Judy learned mosaic, and the pattern that she worked is called the Geometric Illusions Scarf. It is a design by Nicole Christensen. Judy modified the pattern to make a cowl instead of making a scarf. Next, we have Kimberly from Alley Cat Crochet by Kimberly. Kimberly learned a new stitch this month. The raised stitches in this washcloth is using the turtle stitch. This stitch was part of the Battle of the Stitches challenge, and the tutorial that Kimberly followed to learn the stitch is by Strings and Threads. It is called How to Crochet the Turtle Stitch Step by Step. And last is by me. I made a toddler-sized blanket called Hugs and Kisses Blanket, a pattern designed by Jean Steinhilper. There is a video tutorial included in the pattern by Mikey from the Crochet Crowd. And here are a few hints and tips that I hope might help for anyone thinking about making this. What I quickly discovered is that every other row in this blanket requires single crochets, and this makes for slow going, but it is well worth the effort as it's a beautiful blanket in the end. When I weighed my blanket, I found that it took about 500 grams of number 3 yarn, similar to Skinny Cakes. To make mine, I started with a chain of 186, and I used a 4.5 millimeter hook. Also, I did not do the parts of the pattern that said to square it off, which meant to fill in the sections, and I did not add a border. The final measurements on this blanket were 40 inches long and 36 inches wide. There we go. Also, the instructions in the pattern include instructions for a 158 stitch starting chain, and the original pattern was written for Karen Baby Cakes using a 5 millimeter hook, and the 158 stitch starting chain reduces the width by about 7 inches compared to the starting with 186 chain. So hopefully that might help for anyone who might be considering to make this blanket. And now let's pause for a moment while I get things set up and ready for spinning the wheel. And after the wheel spin, will be news about January Stash Down 2026 results. This month is starting something new. The winner from last month mentioned that on Judy's Make-Along, the previous month's winner is not added to the next month's wheel, and asked that her name not be added this month, just in case her name came up 2 in a row, to make sure that another participant gets that chance. Such a great idea, and I will begin doing that here too. Thank you so very much for sharing about this idea. The Make-Along here really is a work in progress and open to all of your suggestions, as the Something New Make-Along started by a viewer request and has become what it is today by the viewer suggestions along the way. I appreciate you all, those who watch the slideshows, those who send in your pictures, and those who send in suggestions. Thank you so much to everyone. For the person whose name is chosen, the prize this month will be a gift card to the location of the winner's choice. Of course, the gift card has to be somewhere that someone from Canada is able to purchase. Also, if the winner cannot receive gift cards, then we can make arrangements for something else. The winner and I can chat about that in email. My email address will be on the screen. And of course, all the YouTube rules apply. The gift has been purchased by me, and YouTube has nothing to do with the draw. Everyone whose name is on the wheel should be 18 years and older. Everyone who submitted a picture, except the winner from last month, has their name on the wheel. The winner will be responsible for any duty or charges that might occur. Please contact me by February 20th at the email address on the screen. If I am not contacted, there will not be a second spin of the wheel for this one. And now let's come in close, shuffle, and spin the wheel to see who wins. We'll shuffle a few times. Good luck, everybody. Congratulations, Kimberly M. Please send me an email at the email address on the screen. And here I am back again, ready for Stash Down 2026 and January's numbers. During January, the projects that I completed were, first, a corner-to-corner throw, quite large. This is a teen-sized blanket. The pattern is by Catherine Watson, and it's a free pattern on Ravelry. Most of these are. Next, a definitely diagonal scarf. This by Chris Basta. It's a knit pattern, also free on Ravelry. Next one on the list to go with that is Christmas Lotus hat. This one's by Wimes Crafts, and both of those I learned new things when I was making them. Another hat, the Sedona Mosaic hat. This is by Ned and Mimi. And to go with that one, I made a clover fan infinity scarf, and this is a pattern made by Goody. Here we go. A taste of brioche. ear warmer, and this is by Jessica A's. I also made a Taste of Brioche Cowl by Jessica A's. This I made a bit of a mistake. I could call it a modification, but it was a mistake. There should be more stitches in this top part of the cowl. So, but that's okay. I'm learning when it comes to reading brioche. And of course, the Hugs and Kisses baby blanket that we were just talking about. That was made this past month. An Icicles dishcloth. This is by the Kitchen Sink Shop. And 2 other dishcloths. These ones are crochet ones, and the pattern for these by Lindsay Dale. So during January, I did not buy any yarn, so there is no yarn coming in to record. And the total yarn I used this year in January was 2,492 grams. That is the same as about 88 ounces of yarn and about 25 skeins of yarn used. Half of that was used in one project. It was in that corner-to-corner teen-sized blanket. So a total of 11 projects completed, and all of these are for donation. 3 of these are dishcloths, 3 hat and scarf sets, and 2 blankets. I used more yarn this year than January 2025. In January 2025, I used 540 grams of yarn. This year, I did use more. And I might as well let you know, last year, there was only 1 month when I did not buy yarn. That means I will easily do better at that this year. At least I hope. It really does defeat my purpose of stash downing if I'm stash upping a bit of yarn here, a skein or 2 there at the same time that I stash down. February is a shorter month, and I have no idea what will happen next month. I will just take it one project at a time and see what happens. It is as much a surprise for me as it is for you. Thank you so much to Bridget from Queen's Crafts by Bridget for helping me to learn the many ways to track stash down and to find the way that suits me best. If you'd like to hear a bit about my stash down journey, or to see anything about these patterns, I did put the pattern information in the description box, or you can look at my January videos for more information about those. Now let's continue a conversation we started last week about ways to enjoy non-tech time. These are non-tech activities that some people are newly discovering and calling analog, as they are using these to stop the scroll. It is heartwarming to me to see these fun activities rediscovered. Like many of us here, I grew up before computers. Actually, I was going to say before computers were popular, but I grew up before computers were in homes at all. I grew up before cell phones and before the internet. So, it's nice to see these kind of activities being rediscovered. So let's get right to it and share here, perhaps hoping that we can find a new interest, or we might find that others also enjoy the same ones that we enjoy. And so here we go. These are viewer ideas. One is sort through craft supplies and paper patterns to find inspiration. Go to the library and check some things out. Get booklets from dollar stores. Work on puzzle books, word search, Sudoku, crossword puzzles. Crochet and knitting for travel, projects that fit in a small bag. Read a book. Learning to make new recipes. Prepare travel bags. Ideas to include in the bag: a book, puzzle book, a knit and or crochet project, your wallet, lotion, tissues, and you can put those in a purse, a tote, or a basket beside the chair. Puzzle making, do diamond dots, adult coloring books, manicure or a nail kit and hand lotion, looking at pattern books, listening to podcasts or CDs, watch DVDs, paint by numbers, play board games, draw, paint, which is great by oneself or also in community with family or friends. Look in dollar store craft aisle for inspiration. Handwrite letters. Hike. Walk with dogs and include dog leashes, bowls, and water for them in a travel bag. Ice fishing. Paperback book or novel, especially a crochet or knitting mystery book. Color by number. Blank greeting cards. And small sketchbook to draw or to jot down pattern ideas in. So those were the ideas that were shared. These ideas and patterns that I've talked about and people that I've mentioned are typed in the description box so that we can refer to them. If you'd like, you can print them off, maybe help each other. Thank you so much for commenting or emailing about this. Such lovely ideas and suggestions that we share here. And the great thing is your ideas shared here will continue to help us all now and help others long into the future. To everyone, thank you so much for watching, and thank you so much for joining the Make Along. Have a wonderful week. Enjoy your crochet, enjoy your knitting, and I hope to see you this coming Friday.